Mr Speaker.
The Honourable David Parker.
Mr Speaker, I've already been contacted by a number of people who are absolutely disgusted that Murray McCulley and the National Party claim that this Auditor-General's report exonerates them. I'm going to go through a few of the exclusions from this report. On page 4, these are things I've read since my first contribution. It is actually quite a long report. You should read it, Member for Epsom, before you say stupid things. On page 4 of her report, she says, "It is not within my legal mandate to comment on or criticise the government's trade, diplomatic or animal welfare policy decisions." There is nothing in this report about whether it was proper to do a shabby deal to pay off a disaffected Saudi businessman. There is nothing in this report about it because it is not within the legal mandate of the Auditor-General to say whether that was a proper thing to do or not. She says it time and again. Next time she says it is on page 5 of the report, when she says, "The use of a contract of services to resolve these matters was a decision made by Cabinet. I comment below on the quality of the Cabinet paper process, not on the decision itself." Again, she's highlighting to anyone who reads the report that she's not commenting on the morality of paying off a disaffected Saudi businessman in order to get a free trade agreement with Saudi Arabia. What she does criticise is the fact that the contracts didn't set out what was actually going on. Next, she says, "I was surprised that it was decided to use a contract with a private individual's business interests to resolve a diplomatic issue between governments. It's difficult to reconcile the words of the contract with the unstated objectives." She says the contract for services was a convenient mechanism by which the allocated 10 million, later 11.5 million, was put towards achieving those unstated objectives. It does not tell the full story. And the government claims this exonerates them, sir. The government claims it exonerates them. And then there's this issue. McCulley says he's okay because he hasn't committed a crime. He says he hasn't paid a facilitation payment. Do you know what sort of facilitation payment it was that the Auditor-General was talking about? She was talking about the sorts of facilitation payment that the Ministry of Justice explained are a facilitation or grease payment, a small payment made to a foreign public official to speed up a service to which the payer is already entitled. That was never the allegation. That was never the allegation. He's never been a public official. These weren't small payments. It was a $4 million cash payment. It's not a criminal act facilitation payment. It's a $4 million payment to facilitate a free trade agreement. It is still a payment that is wrong, morally wrong, paying someone off who wasn't owed anything, $4 million, in order to get out of the way of a free trade agreement. Why did they do it this way, sir? Well, you know, at the back, the Auditor-General has gone to the trouble of setting out how you've got to seek authority from different sorts of payment from Cabinet. She explains that if it is a claim to settle if it is a compensatory payment of more than $750,000, it's got to be approved by Cabinet, and in either case, the payment must be endorsed by either Crown Law Office or a court judgment. Neither of those things here. That's one of the reasons why they've been so keen to hide the fact that that they've been so unclear about what this payment was for, sir. We now know, and they've dodged this for over a year, that there was no substantive cause of action, that they didn't have any legal advice, either internal from the ministry or external to the ministry, in support of the allegation that there was some legal risk to them. What if it's an ex gratia payment? An ex gratia payment, she sets out, of more than $75,000 must be approved by Cabinet. They are hiding under the fact that this is a diplomatic payment that is beyond her jurisdiction to scrutinise, and that therefore somehow what they have done is legitimate. It is legal, but it is immoral. It is a facilitation payment that has bought off a wealthy Saudi businessman who had no legal claim against the New Zealand government. It is shabby, It is unprincipled, and if we've reached such a low stage in New Zealand that a minister has to be in the dock before he has to resign, I think that is very sad.